Good morning, students. Last I completed the Dauberner's triad law, then Newland's octaves law. Now, these were up to some extent or up to 20. The number 20 means calcium. It was okay, then it was failed. So, after so many years, the rejection of Newland's law of octet, many scientists continue to search for pattern that correlated the properties of elements with their atomic masses. Okay, so another scientist they proceed this. The main credit for classifying the elements goes to the Dmitry Ivanovich Mendeleev, the Russian chemist. He was the most important contribution to early development of periodic table of elements, wherein the elements were arranged on basis of their fundamental properties, the atomic mass, and also on the similarity of chemical properties. Okay, now introduction about this scientist Mendeleev. The Dmitry Ivanovich Mendeleev was born in the Tobolsk in western Siberia, Russia on 8th February 1834. After his early education, Mendeleev could join a university only due to the efforts of his mother. Dedicating his investigations to his mother, he wrote, "She instructed with example, corrected with law, and travelled with me to places spending her last resources and strength. She knew that with the aid of science, without violence, with love, but firmness, all superstitions, untruth, and errors can be removed." The arrangement of elements he proposed is called Mendeleev's periodic table. The periodic table proved to be the unifying principle in chemistry. It was the motivation for the discovery of some new elements. Now, this is the introduction about the scientist Mendeleev, who first arranged properly the elements at that time known, and he arranged on the basis of their chemical properties and increasing atomic mass. When Mendeleev started his work, at that time only 63 elements were known. How many elements were known? 63. You know, at the time of Newland, 56 elements were known. But at the time of Mendeleev, 63 elements were known. He examined the relationship between the atomic mass of the elements and the chemical properties, their physical properties. Among chemical properties, Mendeleev concentrated on the compounds formed by elements with oxygen and hydrogen. He selected hydrogen and oxygen as they are very reactive and formed compounds and with most elements. The formula of the hydride and oxide. So hydride and oxide. Hydride means hydrogen compound. Oxide means the oxygen compounds. So the hydride and oxygen formed by an element were treated as one of the basic properties of element for its classification. He then took 63 cards, and one each card he wrote down the properties of one element. He started out of elements with similar properties and pinned the cards together on the wall. He observed that most of the elements got a place in the periodic table and were arranged in order of their increasing atomic mass. It was also observed that there occurs a periodic resources of elements with similar physical and chemical properties. On the basis of Mendeleev formulated a periodic law which state that the properties of elements are in the periodic function of their atomic masses. This is known as Mendeleev's periodic law. What it states that the properties of elements are the periodic function of their atomic masses. This is known as Mendeleev's periodic law. Now a table contains vertical column that is called group. Group means that is vertical column, and period that is called horizontal row. Horizontal row is called period and vertical column is called group. Okay, so he arranged in groups and periods. Now if you see on page number 83, the Mendeleev's periodic table is given, that is the periods 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and the groups up to 1 to 8 are given. So Mendeleev's periodic table was published in the German journal in 1872 in the formula for oxides and hydrides. At the top of the columns and letter R is used to represent any of the element in the group. Note the way formulae are written. For example, the hydride of carbon, that is CH4, is written RH4, and oxide CO2, that is written RO2. Suppose CH4 is written RH4 and the oxide CO2, that is written RO2. In this way, the element named as R, and oxide and hydride, if hydride is there, H is given, oxide is given, then oxygen O is given. Now tomorrow we shall discuss the achievements of Mendeleev's periodic table and its limitations. Okay.